Hey folks, it's Erin Lundy from the PT team at Milestone Therapy Inc. again, and today's home exercise program tutorial is going to be about, you guessed it, stair training. Because I've had so many parents ask me about how should my kid be looking on the stairs, and we're going to go through all these different age ranges, because not only is this an important motor milestone for your child to be able to navigate his or her environment, but also it's really important for safety. I mean, this is really a huge concern for a lot of parents, like if they've got baby gates, when do I open them, those kinds of things. So we're going to go through all of it, so get ready. But wait, before we get in too much with the fun stair training for today, I should mention a cautionary note about safety, and also what your expectations should be. So what I'm presenting with each milestone is to say, okay, from this month to this month, this is what you can expect them to look like on the stairs. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that your child is necessarily ready for that, that technique and those abilities. So I always say this is a home exercise program. This does not take the place of physical therapy. So defer to your physical therapist to figure out where their abilities lie, and then also use your judgment as a parent. If a kid hasn't mastered being able to creep down the stairs on their hands and their knees safely yet, then chances are they're not safe to be walking down the stairs with no hands yet. So again, use your common sense. You guys got this. Okay, now back to the fun. So once again, my Raggedy Ann makes yet another appearance as my demo. And so some key facilitation techniques that I use with all my kids with any kind of reciprocal movement, meaning like opposite arm, opposite leg, just kind of moving like this, which is what your kid needs for crawling, is kind of either you put both your hands on the sides of the trunk, and when you pull down, you're basically cueing your kid to shorten or like laterally flex, kind of go into their side. And whenever you cue up, that causes them to elongate. So it's basically, I think about it as a rhythm. So you're gonna have your hands on both sides of either their hips or their lower trunk, and you're just going opposite to help them learn how to weight shift, kind of get that reciprocal pattern. It's so fun. So I would have the parents start with the kids bent on their knees and kind of help them get in that position where they're kind of what we call tall kneeling. And so they're hanging out here at the bottom step, and you're trying to motivate them to try to go up the stairs. So you use one of their favorite toys, or have an older sibling, or anybody to kind of help them motivate to get them up there. Stick Elsa on up here, and now they're going to be so motivated to try to get up there to her. So hanging out here, and we're just going to use that same technique with the weight shifting, trying to help elongate one side and shorten the other. So we're hanging out here at the bottom step. You want to try to bring that left leg up first, this side, and try to shorten simultaneously on that right side. So push up and push down. So then you got that weight shifting. So then she's up here, and then she's going to want to do it again, and yay, she's all the way up here. So now that we've talked about how to safely help your child go up the stairs, now we're going to talk about how to help your child go down the stairs, because again, this is a huge safety concern, and it's a really good skill that's going to actually translate over into, again, crawling, how to navigate environments, use different motor control patterns, things like that. So this pattern's going to emerge around 15 to 16 months. That's when you're going to see, okay, my child's pretty safe to start doing this one. Put their favorite toy at the bottom of the stairs, so that way they see it, they're motivated to get down to it, and they're hanging out on their knees. And I always say, have them start like 2 to 3 steps up, so that way it's not so scary and not so overwhelming to try to get down to it. You want achievable goals for them to start off with too. So having them hanging out on their knees on this top step, and they're going to look down and say, oh my gosh, I want to get down to that Elsa toy. So we're using the same principles as elongating one side and shortening the other side, with helping push side to side through the hips and the trunk. So let's say that we want to try to drop down this right foot first. We're trying to help facilitate that. So I always just say, think about it like you're trying to help guide their foot down. So we're going to shorten the right side to start going down first, shortening this side. And then she's like, oh, I feel this step. And then she brings down the other one, because you can help facilitate that too. And then same thing for the last step. Again, you want to hang it out on the knees. You try to shorten this side and elongate this side. So this hand's going down, this hand's going up, and try to help facilitate that. And then that way they can safely kind of navigate where their feet are in space. Not only can your child safely creep down the stairs at 15 to 16 months, they can also walk up the stairs now. This is a new skill that they're emerging with, but they're gonna need help either from a railing or from support of you. I always say, start with support from you, because you're gonna be there to help catch them if they start to stumble or feel unsafe. So we're gonna go over a couple little tips to make that look safe and fun. So I would start again with our favorite toy. Oh my gosh, she still keeps coming back. So we're gonna stick her up here on the top step. Yep, she's hanging out up there. The kid's down here at the bottom and she's like, hey, I want that toy. Let's go get it again. So what you're gonna do is, I always say, if, like, let's say you wanna start without using the railing, you just wanna be the support. I always say stand below and to the side of the person that you're helping up the stairs. So that way, if they stumble, you can safely catch them without them knocking you down in the process too. Again, safety is so important. So hanging on with their little hand, and what this is supposed to look like is they're supposed to do 2 feet per step. So hanging out here, steps up, steps up. Hanging out here with 2 feet on one step. Now you're gonna go up to the next one, 2 feet. And then you're kind of looking to see, making sure that they can clear their feet over these little lips of the stairs that a lot of stairs will have. And also making sure that their whole foot is flat on each step whenever they do step up. Because I've seen some kids will kind of step up, they're hanging off to the side, and then they slip down because their whole foot is not completely on the step. So these are just some things that you can work on. Again, kids are so highly motivated at this age just to explore the whole environment. So this is something that's really fun for parents to do with their kids. Well, wait, Miss Erin, when can I start walking down the steps? Well, the answer is around 17 to 18 months. That's when you're going to start seeing your child emerging with these new skills, because it's a little bit more daunting going down the stairs than it is going up, because you've got gravity working against you, I guess, so to speak. And then there's nothing there to block you if you do start to stumble. So that's why this skill typically will emerge a little bit later, and you need your kids to build up their leg muscles in the process. So again, with Miss Elsa, again, we're gonna stick her here at the bottom. Because again, it's all about motivation and distraction for these kids. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna offer them your finger for some support. Again, you know, I always just say stand below and to the side, so that way your kids, one, not learning to go down the stairs backwards like this, because that's not, you know, standard safe form. That's just teaching a different motor pattern that's not going to help them be successful when they're trying to do this independently. So you're going to stand below, like I am, and to the side, holding on to their hand. And then as they're stepping down, they can do 2 feet per step as they're stepping down. So you can kind of help them navigate going 1, 2, coming down here like that. And again, this is hard to multitask with this. Okay, and then step down again while holding on to their hand. And then 1, 2, like that kind of technique. And again, things to look for, make sure that their whole foot is going to be on that step before they put all their full weight on it. Because again, otherwise you're going to have them slip and slide. Especially I'll see the kids will put the back of their heel on the step, or like on the step above, and then they slip. And you know, that just makes them scared. And then, you know, furthermore, less motivated to keep trying it again. The next fun stair training milestone happens between 24 to 30 months. This is when you're going to start seeing your child walking up and down the stairs without having to hang on to anything. Not to you, not to the railing, not to the wall, anything. So this is a really fun thing to watch kids be able to do. Again, I've got my toy placed up here on the stairs. For a lot of kids that are really anxious and, you know, used to having you nearby to help you facilitate going up and down the stairs, rather than hanging onto their hand, try to just put your hand on their back, just so that way, one, if they stumble, you caught them. Again, you're standing below and to the side on the stairs. But then also it kind of lets them know, it's like a little bit reassuring, like, oh, this isn't so bad. And so they keep on coming up. And again, it doesn't matter if they're alternating feet or if you do 2 feet per step. That's really not important right now with stair training. Now, one thing I've seen a lot of kids, like if they're really reaching for this rail because they're so anxious, they're like, I don't know about this. Key is distraction. A toy in each hand, again. So that way they have both hands occupied. They see this toy up here they want to get, and they don't even recognize that they should be a little bit anxious. But, you know, again, if you're back there behind them, kind of giving them that reassurance, and they're just really into their toys, then I think you're going to have a lot of really good success with this. This goes for up and for going back down. Again, always standing below and to the side, regardless of what direction you're going, because you do not want your child to stumble and take you out. And the final phases of how to do all of this gait training and kind of putting it all together. And it's one of my favorite things to see, and also one of the biggest challenges for a lot of kids. It's using what we call a reciprocal gait pattern, also known as alternating their feet as they're going up the stairs. And so between 27 and 28 months, they're going to use their handrail or you for support, so that way they feel safe. Because again, whenever kids learn how to go up the stairs, when they do 2 feet on one step, it's a wider base of support, therefore more security, more stability. Whenever they're doing 1 foot per step going up against gravity, it's a little bit more daunting because they're having to do all this new weight shifting, having to work up against the resistance. And so this is a little bit harder for a lot of kids to do. So they're going to use this handrail here for 27 to 28 months, and then between 35 to 36 months, that's when they're going to master needing no hands for going up the stairs. So again, cueing with my doll, I always like to facilitate kids' feet, just to start off with, to introduce it. So again, I'm standing below and to the side to help support our kid, hanging on to one hand, just so that way they get the hang of it. And what I always do is I always facilitate where I want their foot to be placed on the step. You're not picking up their shoe or picking up their leg and being like, here's where you place it, because that's really scary, especially like if they're like having only one hand to support and you're the only thing that's kind of helping them, and then you have both your hands on their feet. That's like not a safe situation. So one hand on your hand on their hand, and then you're just basically gently guiding where you want their foot. So they bring up their foot, you know, they're going to be tempted to try to bring up their other foot on the same step, but what you're going to do is gently facilitate it up to this other step. So it's this whole little way of weight shifting up the stairs. And again, if you need to reintroduce that going side to side through the hips or the trunk, this is another time when you can kind of help facilitate that and help the kid feel a little bit better. Now, there are some kids, especially ones that are on the autism spectrum disorder or have any motor planning issues with this task. You can use sticky notes or any kind of stickers that your kid likes, whatever motivates them. And you can come in here and stick these on each step. So that way that motivates them. Okay, I put this foot here and then I put this foot here. So that's kind of a fun way to be like, okay, so I'm going to put this one here, and then this other one's going to go right up here. So that way it kind of makes it like a fun little task to kind of break it down a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. Now, the very last task of STAIR training is going to start occurring between 36 to 42 months. I think that this is, in my professional opinion, one of the most pivotal ways to teach STAIR training, because I have a lot of 8-year-olds that still have not mastered this. And like I said, key here is 36 to 42 months old, master this. That's why if they don't get it at that time, and then now parents don't really address it as they go along, that's why you end up with a lot of 8-year-olds that have a really tough time with this concept, which feeds over into other abilities for motor planning, leg strengthening, because, you know, imagine how many times you've gone downstairs between the ages of, 3 to 8. I mean, that's just how much opportunity that you've missed out on by not teaching your kid how to properly go down the stairs. Okay, so what we're going to do, it's very similar, coming down the stairs with alternating feet. So again, you can use your little sticky notes to kind of help guide them. And again, using facilitation techniques for helping move their feet down the stairs. Again, not pulling on them, because that's terrifying going down the stairs. You want to gently facilitate which foot goes on which stair. Again, with the grand prize of the toy at the bottom. And again, I always say stand below and to the side. Have I mentioned this enough? Because this is probably the scariest of all the STAIR training for a lot of kids, and especially it's the most unstable environment, because that's high risk for falling, which is why we always save it for last once you build up your muscle strength to be able to do this one. So again, alternating feet, kind of going down this way and then going down this way. And again, you can throw in your weight shifting techniques again through the trunk if that one's a little bit more effective. Again, standing below and to the side. Oh my gosh, this is so important. But anyway, in case I haven't hammered this home enough, this is such a fun way to do STAIR training with your whole family. You can practice it every single time you go up the stairs throughout the week. It's not just a hassle to do for your homework assignment, for your home exercise program. This is something you get to practice all day long, every single day if you want to. So anyway, I hope you guys have fun with this, and I hope you have a very happy stair training. Thanks.